Tutorial, we're going to have a look at how to set up a content management system called Textpattern. So Textpattern is basically a open source content management system that is actually designed for web developers, designers, and content creators. So before we begin, let's take a look at the requirements that you need to follow along this guide. So first, you'll need a server running Linux Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. You also need an SSH client such as Party or the macOS terminal app. And finally, you'll need a domain name pointing to the server that you intend to install Textpattern on. So let's take a look at an overview of the steps covered in this guide. First, I'm going to show you how to open an SSH connection to the server and actually update the system repository. Then I'll show you how to create the Textpattern installation script. We'll actually run the script and set up the CMS using the installation wizard. Then finally, I'll then show you how to access the Textpattern front end and back end. So the first thing that we're going to do is to open Windows PowerShell and run the command ssh administrator at 192.168.88.211. So I'm going to type in my password, and as you can see, we've actually gained access to the server. I'm going to run the sudo su command, then enter my password to elevate my access to the root user, then run the apt update command to update the system repository. So these are the basic steps that I needed to do to actually access the Ubuntu server. In your case, this may be different depending on the VPS or the kind of server that you're currently using. So I'm just going to clear my screen, and I'm going to run the touch command to create a file called textpattern.sh. Then I'll actually use nano to open this file and edit the contents. So I've already prepared the script. I'm just going to copy the script and then paste that into the textpattern.sh file. So as you can see, this is the actual script file that I'm actually going to use to complete the installation. So I actually include the script within the video description. I'm going to run the command chmod +x, and then I'll specify the textpattern.sh file name at the end. So that will set execute permissions on the file. And as you can see, the file is now executable. So I'm just going to clear my screen, then run the command /textpattern.sh. I'll specify the domain name that that is actually pointing to the server. Then I'll actually specify the database name. You can actually specify any name you'd like. I'll specify the database username. And finally, I'll also specify the database password. So these are the 4 items that you actually need to run the script. So as you can see, once you specify those 4 items, the script will actually start the installation process. All you need to do is just to wait for the installation process to complete. If you face any issues, you can actually comment down below in the video description with whatever issue you face with the script, or you can actually directly edit the script and add any new modifications or changes that you'd like to satisfy whatever requirements that you currently have. So basically the installation should take about 5 minutes or less, and it largely depends on the performance of your internet connection. So it will actually go ahead and set up the LAMP stack, and it will actually download the Textpattern package from the official download site. So you can actually change all of those details by simply editing the script before you actually run it. So the installation should be done right about now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and load up the Textpattern wizard. So the first thing that you need to do is to select a language and then click on submit. Then you need to just specify the database details. So I'm just going to copy these from the installation success message. I'll copy the MySQL username. Then I'll also copy the database password that I set. And I'm just going to paste that on the appropriate field. And then I'll also specify the database name. So you can also specify a table prefix if you prefer. And once that's done, you then need to create a config.php file in this specified directory. So I'm going to go back to my terminal client, and then I'm going to change my working directory to the text pattern directory that's been specified, which is actually in the var www.html directory. And as you can see, we actually don't have that config.php file that is being asked for. So I'm going to use nano to create the file. So that's going to be nano config.php. Then I'll go back to the wizard and I'll copy the contents of the file that I need to add to the config.php file. Then I'll just save the changes and exit out of the file. So once this is done, you may need to change the permissions of the config.php file, and then you just need to click on the I did it button. So if everything checks out, you can then specify your username, your full name actually, your email address, and you can also specify your login name and login password. So these are the details that you can actually use to log into the Textpattern backend. So once that is done, I'm just going to click on next, and I'm just going to click on login now. So I'll just specify the credentials that I created on the installation wizard and then click on login. So as you can see, this is the Textpattern backend, particularly the section where you can create an article. And I'll just show you the front end. So this is what the default front end looks like. So I'll just create an article. So I'm just going to say my first Textpattern article. So I'll just add that on the title. I'll add some body details and an excerpt, and then click on publish. So if you click on content and then click articles, you can actually see the newly created Textpattern article. And if you refresh the front end, you can actually see the newly created article there. So basically, that's a quick look at how you can set up Textpattern on a Linux Ubuntu 22.04 LTS server. So I hope this has been informative, and I'd like to thank you so much for viewing. Please consider to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more helpful tutorials and how-to guides such as this one.